What's up, fellas? It's Ian here, and this is Road to Advanced, where I try to get bigger and stronger the best way I know how. Horsing heavy weights. Let's get it. Alright, let's get into it. Just got back from the gym. It was a bench day. Pretty good. Not what you're seeing now, but that's besides the case. I was thinking, why do I like lifting so much? Because honestly, it's not going to solve any more problems outside of itself, right? It's not going to fix my car. It's not going to bring me $1,000,000. It's not going to move me out into a better city. It's not going to do any of that, you know? So why am I still doing it? And I think it's genuinely just because I enjoy it. And there's not much more substance there. But that's kind of contradictory because I'm the type of person where if I don't see a reason in doing something, then I simply just won't do it. I kind of went back and forth on that contradiction for a minute while I was lifting, just really trying to figure it out. I think the conclusion I ended at was that it's kind of a form of expression for me, because I usually have such a hard time with verbal communication. It's just a way for me to express that serious and hardworking side of me. Because, usually in life, I'm not a very serious person, but I still have a serious side. Everyone does, right? But it's just how serious is that person, or how goofy is that person, whatever. Right? And I've never really, there's not much of a need for me to express that serious side of me in day-to-day life, because it really just isn't that serious, dude. It really just isn't. So the gym is kind of just a way for me to express that hardworking side, because you look at someone who's really jacked and you know what they had to do to get that type of physique, because you can't just go to the store and, buy a new physique. You have to work for it. You have to put in the reps and just earn that shit. There's no other way around it. So when you see someone with an exceptional physique, you know what they had to do it, and you know what type of person that makes them. And that's why I enjoy lifting so much. I guess that's my reason, expressing myself. But that's just my reason. That's my humble 2 cents. I'm going to hear your reason. Why do you keep going? Let me know in the comments. But apart from the mindset stuff, all my accessories are kind of floating around the same area, which is to be expected because I am cutting right now. So I'm not going to see any gains pretty much. I'm just going to be floating around the same weights and reps for, the time being until, the end of March. Until the end of March. So I'll be bulking again in April. And that's when this whole thing is really going to get started. Because any gains that I make here is basically a miracle at this point. Because in a calorie deficit, I don't know if you've ever tried pushing harder than last time in a calorie deficit, but for me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. I end up just falling apart, which is kind of what's going on in my training, because I am trying to push further and further and further, but there's ebbs and flows to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But we're going to be back bulking again in April. I'm stoked for it. Honestly, we're going to start making some real gains, start putting some real skin in the game, and honestly, I'm just holding out for April. I'm going to try to get to this cut, lean enough to where I have a lot of room to bulk. And that's just because I bulk for like 9 months at a time. Like I need a lot of room to bulk, or else I just end up at like 205, 210 in December, and then I just have to cut all the way down to like 175 in the span of 3 months, which isn't insane or anything like that, but I just want to, I don't want to be too bulky, I guess is what I'm trying to say by the end of the year, just because it's hard to see yourself making any progress when you're at that body fat percentage, just because you're it's just covered up, you know? So my plan throughout this next year is going to be a very lean bulk. At least I'm going to try, just because with me going this hard on a program, if I do a lean bulk, I'm confident that I can put on a considerable amount of muscle without too much fat. I know. It's what everyone says before every single bulk. And then they just end up taking it way too far. And then they get all bulky. And then they're like, well, shit. Now it's time to cut again. And then they never make any real progress because their bulks are too short and their cuts are too hard. But I'm going to try to change that this bulk. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it in April. I'll see you there. I don't have too much else to say today, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. To the 2 people watching this right now, love you to death. Love you to death. Let me know if there's any questions you guys have, and I'm not going to do all that plugging shit. I just hate it. Have a good one. Have a nice day. I'll see you next week.